If it wasn't for the military stationed in front of Tunisia's parliament and near the now vacant prime minister's office, one wouldn't be able to tell this is a country going through another critical patch in its political history. Since President Kais Saied granted himself full powers on July 25th, his opponents cried foul, but many here believe he was placing a bet on Tunisia's future.
Things are better. Kais Saied is very good. He's rounding up all the thieves.
The thieves Abdelhamid refers to are members of Tunisia's political elite, whose image is now tarnished by years of inaction and mismanagement.
They kidnapped the revolution.
Abdel Nasser became one of the symbols of Tunisia's Jasmine Revolution, which sparked a popular movement that changed the face of much of the Arab world. The night Tunisia's former president, Zine El Abidine Ben Ali, fled the country, Abdel Nasser was the first to defy the military-imposed curfew and celebrate.
I remember everything. I remember all the details and the feeling of victory. I was arrested twice. I was beaten up by the Ben Ali police. But I never gave up. I insisted from when I was 18 until Ben Ali escaped. I never gave up the resistance and the fight.
A lot has happened in the past 10 years. Tunisia's currency, the dinar, has lost 50% of its value, and life became incredibly hard. The impact of the coronavirus pandemic pushed Tunisians over the edge, and they demanded dramatic change. But challenges remain.
President Kais Saied says he doesn't have dictatorial aspirations, and he insists he'll respect freedoms and rights and work to ensure people's well-being. But this must translate into public policy, and that's where we have a problem, because public policy depends on institutions, notably to address the financial, public health, economic, and social urgencies. They demand a strong government, which we do not have yet.
Plagued by months of political deadlock and a new deadly peak of COVID-19, Tunisia, once a story of hope, now has to prove to itself it can learn from the past and rebuild stronger. Annelise Borges in Tunis for Euronews. For over a week now, Tunisia has been making international headlines, with many countries calling on President Kais Saied to return to the path of democracy after he announced the sacking of his prime minister and the freezing of activities in parliament, sparking concern about the state of democracy here. I spoke to Tunisia's ambassador to the EU about that concern and about what lies ahead for Tunisia.
I think the word concern is not well chosen. We can understand it, but in politics we cannot be concerned. In politics we judge things on facts, on results, on measures taken, on context. And we discuss, we debate. We cannot be concerned. The reality in Tunisia is not difficult to understand. For those who live in the country, it's not difficult to understand. It's obvious. In these last years in Tunisia, we've lived through scandals, one bigger than the other, without solution, without any trials, without any progress. We would hear a scandal erupt, and then another one, even bigger, and then nothing. A few days later, nothing. It couldn't go on like this.
3 members of parliament have been arrested over the weekend, 3 opponents of President Saied. Critics are talking about a purge.
I won't judge, because I'm not competent to do so, the work of the judicial system, which is independent. But if the accused have nothing to hide, what's the problem with appearing in court and defending themselves? Where is the problem? If I was an MP treated as a suspect, I would go to court to clarify things. I would not hide behind immunity.
President Saied named a new interior minister, but still no prime minister. The United States and other partners are calling on Tunisia to return to the path of democracy. What do you say to that?
It's very important for international leaders to understand what's happening in Tunisia because the stakes are very high. It's very important for Tunisians, of course. It's a crucial step in our history. But it's also very important for the region and beyond. Tunisia has all the means to continue to be this country which establishes a democracy. But a democracy cannot be consolidated overnight, neither in a year nor in 2 years. On other continents, it's taken decades and decades. We must help Tunisia, which is knocking on the door of mature democracies, established democracies, real democracies, and not superficial democracies.